Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening with respect to your places. This is Ganeshwar here. Today I'll be talking about Lightning Data Service in Lightning Web Components. We are going for session 10 today, and please subscribe and like to our YouTube channel, which is SFDC Amplified. And thank you for joining today's session. Today's agenda will be what is Lightning Data Service, why we should go for Lightning Data Service, and what are the ways we can use Lightning Data Service. Lightning Data Service, it's a centralized data caching framework which is used to load, save, create and delete a record without writing a server-side Apex code. Like we don't need any server-side Apex code, like we don't need any DML or SOQL statements. At the simplest, it's like a standard controller we used to have it in the Visual Force page. Similar to that, we have Lightning Data Service for Lightning Web Components and Lightning Components, which is Auto Components as well. Next, coming to how exactly and where exactly it has been created is Lightning Data Service. It's built on top of the user interface API, which is on the server side in Salesforce, and Lightning Data Service, which is built on the user interface API, is on the client side, browser side. So you can see in the diagram here, Lightning Data Service is on the top and then is built on user interface API. The components which are supported, the objects which are supported by the user interface API, the same objects are supported by the Lightning Data Service. There are few objects which user interface API doesn't support, like task, event or person account. The same objects, even the Lightning Data Service is not supported. I can show like the supported objects of the, you can see here, this is a user interface API developer guide, and you can see the supported objects. These are all the supported objects by the user interface API. That means it is also supported on the Lightning, to use on the Lightning Data Services. So you can go ahead with the list. So why we need Lightning Data Services? This is very important. Why we need to use the Lightning Data Services? In order to eliminate multiple server calls for a single record. What exactly this means, I'll show you from the diagram here. So before, or if we are not using Lightning Data Service, let's say we have three components and all the three components have the same, are fetching the same record data. Let's say here ABC is the record and all the components are fetching the same record data. However, what happens is each components make a different server call. You can see here different arrows. These are like different server calls. So each component is making a different call. Even it's for the same record. So when coming to Lightning Data Service, so the advantage here is we'll be making a call only once to the server and loading the record once on the browser on the client side, and this record can be used by multiple components, which this record is there in the component, like we can see in the diagram. So number of calls to the servers are getting reduced. That means the performance is improved. So that is one of the big reason we go for Lightning Data Service. And here one more point I would like to note, we can even work with offline data. How, if our component has Lightning Data Service, so how that works, updating is once our Lightning Web component or application or the page gets connected to the network, it syncs with the database, the data. These are the few features of Lightning Data Service: loading, creating, saving and deleting record. It handles sharing rules as well as the field level security. What exactly that means is, like, let's say if a user doesn't have access to that, doesn't have permission to that record or to the data object or field, that user won't be able to see any data in that Lightning Web component. So it is taken care by Lightning Data Service. We don't have to worry about it. And then, as I said, it loads once no matter how many components in your application or on a page they are using that record. It loads once and then all the components can use it on the client side. So it uses wire adapter and functions in the API models for data transactions. And then there are few Power-based components which are built on Lightning Data Service, which we can use to easily fetch the data. Today we'll be discussing what are those base components and how can we use those base components in our Lightning Web component. As I said, we don't need SOQL, DML or any Apex in order to fetch the data. It supports all the objects which is supported by the user interface API, exist at the client side. Now next, there are two ways we can access data in Lightning Web Component through Lightning Data Service. One of the way is using the Lightning based components which are built on Lightning Data Service, and the other is via adapters. So today we'll be discussing on the Lightning based components, how can that be used in our Lightning Data Services. Below components provide from the layout. These are the three components which we can use to create, read and update changes without requiring any Apex code. So these are like three base components which we can use: Lightning Record Edit Form, Lightning Record View Form, Lightning Record Form. The third one, which is Lightning Record Form, it supports both the read-only, it supports three mode: read-only, view, edit modes, and it's like kind of combination of both edit and view form. However, if we have Lightning Record Form, we think like why we need the other two, Lightning Record View and Lightning Record Edit Form. We need the first and second one just if we need more modifications in the layout. We can see it in the future. Now, demo time. So I have created a project, name is Lightning Data Service Project. So let me go ahead and create Lightning Web Component. So Control Shift P and then create Lightning Web Component, and let's give the name as Lightning Data Service Example 1. So I'll save it in the default folder. It is under the LWC, under the force -app main default we have LWC. So basically our Lightning Web Component will be created here. Okay, I see that. It's creating Lightning Web Component. The command is running at the bottom to the right, we can see here, sftx command. So whenever we create any Lightning component, there are three files gets created: HTML, JS and XML file. If you would like to add one more extra like CSS, we can just create the file here. So you can see created Lightning Web Component successfully. Now we have a template. Let me go ahead and add here. So first, Lightning, let's put everything in the Lightning card. Let's give a title, Lightning Data Service. We'll be discussing the first record form, Lightning Record Form. That's the first base component in the Lightning Data Service. And you can provide icon name, any icon, like let's say standard. Let's for now I'll just take an account. Close this, and then so the next thing, let's take a div tag, and then let's describe a class. So in the class, let's give it like LDS. We'll make it like a small. Now after div here, let's go ahead for lightning record form. So this is the tag we use to use the one of the base component, which is lightning record form we are using. So I can show here. Next, first we need the record ID. So for record, to fetch the record of the page. That's it. So whenever this component is placed on the record page, record detail page, it fetches the record ID of that record detail page of that record. And then let's pull the object API name. So let's give this as object API name. These are the parameters which we can provide in the lightning record form, and the other parameters is like kind of layout, what kind of layout we need, layout type. There are like two types of layout type. One is full, and there is one more. I'll show you the difference. The one more is the it's called compact. I'll show you what's the difference mode. So this read only. For now we'll go with read only format. So now what we did here is, let me check if I've done everything good. Yes. Now we have started the lightning record form tag. Let's close that tag, and then we are good. So now in the JS file, as we need to fetch the record ID as well as the object API. So let's go ahead and let's use here record ID and object API name. So it should be the same, this one and here. Basically we are just fetching it record ID and object API name, and then in the XML just make it to true is exposed, because we would like to use this component in our record detail page. So here targets, and then close the targets, and then between the target you have, so where exactly we would like to place, the place where we would like to, so it will be lightning double underscore record page. So we are placing it on the record page. Let's close the tag, and that's it. So basically we have defined the lightning record form in the mode read only, you can see, and the layout type is full. And what we are doing, we are pulling the object, whichever object, whichever object we place this component record detail page, so it will take all the fields of that page. I'll show you. I'll deploy this. Control S. Let's deploy this. So we can see here to the bottom right, it's getting deployed. So let me open the org till it gets deployed. Go to a custom object called properties. Still deploying. So now let me open another record. If you click on the gear icon, that's called settings. Here you can edit the page to add your Lightning Web component. Still deploying the component to our org. So let's wait for a few more minutes or a few more seconds. This is the app builder where you can remove or add any components or make changes to the page. Let's see if we have that component. It's not deployed, so I don't think we will have that component yet here. So till then, what I can do here is I can show you guys different types of mode here. So the first one what we have, the mode is read only, and the next one will keep the mode, will change the mode to view, and then the third will change it to edit. So we can see the differences, like how we cancel this and let's try again. Save. Let's save this. Deploy to, or let's see how this works. So you can see the difference. Mainly in the read only we won't be able to edit any of the fields because the mode is read only. However, in the view and the edit mode we will be able to edit in both the modes. However, in the edit mode we get two options like buttons at the bottom, cancel and save. In the view mode we'll get like kind of pencil icon to edit the fields, which you can see once we deploy this component successfully to the org. Check if extension is, if we need to reload the extension. And so these are all in the extension pack available. So while deploying, it's using CLI integration, which is one of the component from this pack. You can see here. You can see now it got deployed successfully. Now if we can go ahead and see here, if we are on the record page of the properties, so I'll go ahead and edit the page so that I can go ahead and add the component. Now you should be able to see our custom component. So the name of our component is lighting data service example 1. You can see here now. Let me write this. Let's see what's there here. I'm just trying to pull the object API. Let's see if we can give it API here. This is a decorator. Let's try now. So it wasn't able to access the object name. We have made some changes. We can also, I'll change the format for the layout type, so you can, once we see the differences in the mode, I'll go ahead and I'll change the format for the layout type. We'll keep it as compact and we can see the differences. This has been successfully deployed. Now let me go ahead and edit the page again, and let me pull lighting web component. see here. Let's try now. You can see here. This is video. This is edit. Save. Let's try to push again. Go back. Just changing the heading so there will be no confusion while we are viewing the component. So the first one we see here is the read-only mode. You can see here we have defined the mode as the read-only. The second is view, and the third one is edit. We can add different parameters here, like we can add any action to the component if we need, like if we would like to add on success, on handle, on action, on submit, and we can add whatever the action we need on the record. We can add in our JavaScript, and like fields which we are pulling on the page in this lighting components, these are like all the fields which we are pulling. However, if we need specific fields, we can just import and we can declare the fields which we need here, and then we can just pull on, we can show only those fields available or needed for our Lightning Web component. It's been deployed successfully. That's great. Let me go ahead and edit the page again to add the Lightning Web component. So we can see here our component. So now you can see the lightning record from view, edit, and then read only. Save this. Now go back. Let's see. So lightning web component using lightning data service and the base component within the lightning data service. The base component which we have used is lightning record form. I can see here for this object there are 4 fields: property name, owner ID. Owner ID is standard default, price, state, zip code. These are the 4 fields, and then here you can see it's just read only. And view, this is property name. You can see in the view what's the difference between read only view. Here we can edit the fields, and then you can see in the edit form, cancel, save button, and we can directly edit the form. Test user, yeah, 45,000, 5,500, 50,000, state, let's say Texas, code, let's say 76308. So this is how we can save the data. And then next, So if I change the layout to compact, we can see the difference. Compact, change the layout to compact in all the 3 cards templates. Save it, push it again, and see the difference. Once deployed successfully, we'll refresh the page to see the difference. Right now we can see here property name, owner ID, price, state and zip code are below one another. That's the layout type is full. It will change once the layout type gets changed, which is to the compact. So we can see the difference once the component gets deployed to our org. Cool. So it has been deployed. Let me refresh the page. As there are only 4 fields, it's showing only like on the same page. However, the compact view will be like property name, owner ID, price will be on one side, and like it will be divided into like kind of second column, the state and the zip code, or like if there are plenty of fields. These. So the next will be going to this was the lightning record form. We'll go for lightning. Okay, another lightning web component that will be lightning data service example 2. So now we'll be using the lightning record view form. Let's put it in lightning card. Service. This is lightning record view form. Can give any standard. Contact. Then again, let's put this in one view just to make it look good. Define a class LWC. Let's give around small. Next, so here's our lightning base component, lightning record view and that form. Now again, let's start giving attributes to record. First we need the record ID, same as we have provided in earlier case. Next, our object API name. So let's provide the object Or let's this time let's take a standard object. Let's take a user. And for lightning record view, we'll have special type which we can use, which is lightning output field. Here it will be output hyphen field. So here we can define the field name for user, whatever the fields we have. We have like name field. Let's copy 2 more fields and let's create 2 more fields. Okay. So one is we have created name, the other is let's create alias, and then email for the user record. So we know that we have these 3 attributes, name, alias, and email, the fields for the user, like standard object, and then lightning output field. This tag we can use only with lightning record form, and then we can divide this into different columns and however we need, we can place in different columns or different row. Next, coming to our JS file, here we need the record ID. However, let's say if we need some current user, whoever is creating the record, so let's import that it needs to be same current user ID. From here at Salesforce we have standard user ID. So this is how we can pull the current user ID, and we can place in the record ID. That record ID is passed in our HTML. Now I'm coming to our XML file. Now this XML file we use to make our components available. So for now what we'll do, we'll make again, as we have done in the previous case, we'll make this true, and then again define the targets where we would like to place targets. Close this targets, and then again target, and then here we need lightning record page. So now we have, so in this case we are using lightning output field. Similarly we can use different parameters here, like we can place a button and we can place any action on that button in the JavaScript. So for now let me deploy this to our org and I can show you the difference. So we are using lightning record view form. This is one of the base component in lightning data service. The first one which we have seen today is lightning record form, and this one is lightning record view form, and we have one more. So basically so totally there are 3 components, base components in lightning data service. We'll look into the last one as well, which is lightning record edit form. Let's see, what's the issue? Targets, okay. So yeah, I know what's the error here. So basically it should be double underscore here. lightning double underscore, and there should be a record page. If you like to place this in the home page, it should be like lightning double underscore and then home page. So we can see here it's deployed successfully. Let's place in the same record page where we have our previous example. Edit page. So we should get the information of the current user, because what we are doing is we are pulling the current user information, and we have those three fields in our component: name, alias, and email. It should show us those three fields. You can see here is lightning data service example 2, and then let me drag and pull this. Let's place here top. Save this. And go back. Now we can see here to the right in the details page, lightning data service lightning record view form. So here we have provided name, alias, and the email for the current user. So this is how we can use the lightning record view form just to display the fields which we need for the object, and we can place it in any of the page. So the next thing will go for another component. Let me close this. Create another component. Will be lightning data service example 3. We'll create in the same folder. It's created. It's very fast. Close the previous one. Okay. Here again, let's create lightning card title. So here lightning data service, and then in this we'll go for lightning record edit form base component, and then let's see, icon name, let's standard, let's see, count, let's put it in one div. So LWC LWC small. Next, now lightning record edit form. Here, what are the parameters we can put here? Say record ID, record under -ID, put the record ID, and then object API name, So we'll put here object all, let's see, I'll use, if I have, let's see, contact, let's put contact. Let's use a standard object here as well. Let's use contact this time. So next, in the previous example we have seen, we have used the lightning output field for the lightning record view form. In the lightning record edit form, we won't be able to use the lightning. Can use, but however we'll go for, mostly we'll go for, as it is edit, we'll go for input field tag, field name. Again, we'll use the standard field here. Let's say first name. Close this. So let's create two more fields. So let's create last name and let's create email. Like we can, as I said, like in the previous, for the previous component, we can even like create buttons. Like, let's say if we would like to create a button, lightning button, let's give some styling, SLDS, medium, small, and then variant is like kind of styling to your button. You can see, let's give this brand type, what type we need, submit. Now here we'll give an event on click, which will, for this event, whatever we have, we can define it in our JavaScript file, whatever the action we would like to. Let's say handle submit for now. Let's give it a name, and then the label to the button, let's give submit. Let's close this, and that's all. Now we will define it in the JavaScript. Here we'll define the record ID, and then we need to define the button what we have created. So record ID, and then we have created a button. For that we have an action. You can see here, handle submit on click. So take that for now on any event. For now I'll just put an alert for this example, and then you can see if it is working. Successfully created a contact, let's say. And in our XML file, make this to true, and then our targets, close the target, then put in the lightning record page. This, let's push this to our arc. So here, so the previous one was just the view, and we have used user object. Here standard object, we are using the contact standard object, In lightning record edit form, we are taking the lightning input field. That's the tag we'll be taking, the input which we'll give in this fields like first name, last name, and the email for the contact object. And then we have also placed one button which says submit, the label of the button, and on the click of that button we will be displaying the alert message which we have defined in our JavaScript file, or the action on the handle submit. Let's see, there is some issue here. Targets, so target lightning underscore record page. Let me grab this set from here. Let's try to deploy this to our now. We'll go to our contact. This is still running. We'll open one of the contact record and we can edit the page, record detail page, and we can place this component in. Once deployed successfully, we can place this component and we can see the fields and in what visit view, read only, or edit form. Let's see. Yeah. Cool. So it has been successfully deployed. Let me edit the page and we'll pull the lightning data service example 3 component into the page. So here is our lightning data service example 3. Let's pull this. Save this. Click on back. And see here. Let's see. Test. Let's give some name. Test users. Now let's give SFDC amplified. SFDC at test. can see here on click of submit, we are getting successfully created a contact. So this is how we can create any action in the lightning button on the view, like lightning record view or lightning record edit form component. So these are the three components which we have covered today. We have seen lightning record form, lightning record view form, lightning record edit form. So we can see here, if we need custom layout, we go for lightning record view form, and if we need more customization, like we have seen, we have placed a button, we have seen an action, we can perform any action. We can even use wire adapter to do more customization. So these are the two interview questions which can be asked, and there might be more, like you can see, you can find it more on the Google. So the two here are, like the two questions here are, what is the advantage of Lightning Data Service? So Lightning Data Service is that we can perform basic operations without writing any Apex code, and it improves the performance as well because we don't need to write any DML statements or SQL queries. And the components that uses Lightning Data Services are like what we have seen today: Lightning record form, view form, edit form. So these are the things. Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining the session. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for joining the session again. Thank you.